Anant Gupta from Prolifics and Scott Simmons from IBM, and they'll be talking about really establishing a center of BPM, Center of Excellence.
Great.
So welcome.
Good morning. So, I woke up this morning and I'm going, and, we had this wonderful quote from Shakespeare. I'm sitting here, I got my email, and my email says, kindly proceed by cashing your fund via any of our agent close you and keep us posted for more transfer of your inheritance fund. So I guess today is supposed to be my lucky day, and it's great. I mean, I didn't think I was going to wake up this morning and be wealthy. Much better than a Shakespeare quote. Once again, good morning to everybody. I'd like to go ahead quickly introduce myself and Anant Gupta. I'm Scott Simmons. I actually, in your agenda, it says I'm the leading banking solutions architect. I'm just lead. I dropped the ing. It was a little bit too formal, I guess. And with that, just very briefly, I basically travel around the world working with most of the major banks and financial services organizations around the world. Many of you here in this room, I've either met with your organizations or talked with you on the phone. And Anant, who I'm going to skip one slide forward and just do a very, very quick introduction of Prolifics, because some of you may not know who Prolifics is. Prolifics has been working with IBM for many, many years. They've been around approximately 30 years, started here in New York, and now they're fully globalized around the world. And what actually makes them real important for us is they're one of our true go-to-market partners. Many of the things we talk about in terms of Center of Excellence and the ideals of it are actually areas that we've actually created in concert with Anant and his team. And with that as well, Anant, you can introduce yourself, but want to just kind of give a preface in terms of who and what Prolifics does.
My name is Anant Gupta. Good morning, everyone. I head up the BPM and connectivity line of business at Prolifics. Scott, you can come back. You have your 10 minutes, then I'll go.
So I'd actually like to start with just like a quick story. I think it's always kind of interesting to start with anecdotes, and from people who have heard me speak over like years and whatnot. I think stories always kind of like put us in the mood for what goes on. I've got a picture up here of a boat that's obviously in kind of some choppy waters, and just very quickly, I was the youngest of 4 boys, and my dad was a big sailor. We grew up actually out here on the East Coast. My dad used to sail out, Cape Cod and whatnot, and then we moved out to the West Coast. And my dad's idea was he always wanted all 4 of the boys to be sailors. My other 3 brothers actually did a pretty good job. I was a really lousy sailor. And actually one day, one of the guys in the neighborhood said, look, I'll go ahead and race you. We had this little old Toro boat. It was about 12 and a half feet long. My dad actually built this thing by hand, varnished it, wonderful. The mainsail was, 10, 12 feet. So I got challenged, and you're a 10, 12-year-old kid. If you get a challenge, you want to take somebody up on it. So I pulled the boat out, I hanged up the mainsail and whatnot, and went out on San Francisco Bay, and I was tacking around, flipped the boat over, and broke the mainsail in half. So I pulled the boat back up, kind of like pushed it over here to the side, and it just kind of did that. Well, my dad, obviously put things together. Obviously, Scott didn't do a real good job. And the issue here at hand is a little self-effacing humor. The issue was, unfortunately, there was really nobody there to kind of mentor me. My dad tried to, but I don't know. I just didn't have quite the competency, I guess, around sailing. But at that point, he went ahead and he put me into the little yacht club, and I did like the little yacht races. And, I became kind of an okay junior racer, but never really kind of like fulfilled it. Bottom line kind of concept to this is, if you're going ahead and sailing is, as most of you know, kind of this ability to kind of like tack left, tack right. There's not really, a straight line when you sail. In a very similar manner, when we start talking about business process management and doing a center of excellence, it's a very similar thing, is that you kind of move through different phases. As Anant and I kind of talk to you for the next 30 minutes or so, we'll kind of explain how that goes, because we see over the experiences that both Prolifics has had and IBM has had that organizations that are adopting BPM kind of go through a level of maturation, and to the point that Mike made earlier,